sa likod, sa atubangan, sa kamera, kahayag.
Di na ka mo ingon o
Mao na ni
siga
siya,
kay nana.
hayag na jud siya, no?
Nanay siga.
So mayong adlaw ka natong tanan. Ako di ay si Ben.
O ako gyapon si Jen o ni ang ikaduhang episode sa atong podcast. So karon Ben, unsa pud atong istoryaon karon?
So pag niagi ang atong gi-interview kay si Miss Mila Lagahit, isa siya ka starting or beginning actress there is a Cebu local film industry. Karon lahi na sad nga person from the local film industry atong i-interview. Siya ang current creative director sa Sutukil Sauce, usa kay lado nga film group diri sa Cebu City. So kaila ba kaniya Jed?
Kung kaila ko last week, kaila ko karon pa.
Sige, so kinsa man siya?
Siya si Miss Samantha Solidum. Pakpakan natin siya. Or Miss Sam.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Hi.
Right. Hi, Miss Sam. How are you, man?
I'm good right now. Very good. Very busy also. Healthy.
Unsa may gikabisihan sa usa ka Miss Sam?
Karon kay akong gikabisihan kay ani ni-graduate na ko film, but now I'm taking up dentistry.
Wow.
So, actually after this na ko'y klase online.
Oh.
Kami manang may classes.
Yes, and then wala siya akong gikabisihan karon. And other besides like kanang mga freelance projects, other music videos, my music from my friends and stuff like that. Wala siya.
Okay. So, kabalo mo dyan, Miss Sam, nga busy kay ka karon. And we just want to know, giunsa man pagsugod sa usa ka Miss Sam ani nga industry? Like, unsa may nag-influence nimo, anong ganahan ka ani nga industry?
That's a super na question. I wouldn't even call it an industry right now. It's more like a lot of enthusiasts na nag-gather and nag-try og himo og I don't know any big Bisaya words pero kanang gi-push gid kayo na dapat atong mga salita kay mga Bisaya. Even until now, it's not even an industry, but there are so many well-known Cebuano filmmakers that are making the rounds, not just in the Philippines, but worldwide. And maybe not necessarily as directors, but kanang mga writers or production designers, VFX artists. They're very low-key. It's amazing.
Miss kano sa mga nakabalo nga ay naadi ko'y potential nga makahimo og salida o nabay niingon nimo nga ay maayo ka ani.
Let me try it there. Kuan to, high school. And tungod namang dito yung mga short film contest sa high school, no? So, may mga short film. Daw akong short film. Magkuhan ko, mag-film ko. Di ta nang diliman, kaya hindi makaya. Pasar mo kong UPC. So, nag-UPC ko mascom ko, 1 year. Ay, maning mascom. Alam niyo, open man itong kuhan sa San Carlos. San Carlos na cinema, pioneer batch. Dito ka. Ibalik ko San Carlos na cinema. And siya, it has been a it's an ongoing journey. Is filmmaking right for me? I still think about these things until now. Pero currently, ako nag-ginay na yung kanang panguyab balik na, hindi pa nalagili na siya type of thing. So, siya. And yeah, I think I have no escape. Wagi ko escape po aning filmmaking. I can't help but be a filmmaker or a storyteller. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Jud. So, it was like sign na jud to Miss nga nag-open ang kuan sa San Carlos for you to pursue your dream.
Yes, for sure. Kay grabe akong sa pangas when I left UP. Because this is where first year good. This is where I met my first friends. Nire ko nakakatunog tagay. Og katog class. Mga na mga things. Mga, basic stuff.
Yes.
So, kana siya. I didn't want to leave Cebu, in other words. So, having cinema open up in San Carlos was like, I can still see my UP friends. I can see lang.
Yes. But knowing Miss nga pioneering mo adto, was it difficult?
Yes, because we had to make up all the stuff that they're now, they're still continuing. So kami how you got into a institution or course, and mana ka na, you're lost. So mga tanong mo, who do we ask for direction? I just ask the higher ups. Just ask the higher years. wala may higher years. Kami pa ng pioneer batch. Kami pa nagkisa may higher years. Hindi kami. So, kami pa naghimo-himo sa pangalan sa mga programs, sa mga events. So we had to figure it out also at the same time also, and alongside sa faculty at that time. So this was siya, but fun and very worthwhile.
Very worth it, Jud.
Dramatic lang kayo. Like, from the 30 students that enrolled na, hey, I want to be a filmmaker, 30 students, first years. And graduate sa mo first batch, 5.
5?
5, including like Danny Bautista, si Amaya, ako, si Kenneth Nigatan, si Steven Natenta. These are my batchmates. And then may apa sa other people.
Speaking of lisod, miss, unsa man ang mga personal nga kalisdanan nimo isip usa ka filmmaker?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Fun. I think one of the daghan kay challenges actually, technical palang daan, budget palang daan. Budget palang daan.
Budget
Kana dyan ang number one, no? But that's already a given na it's hard to find funding for your film. But the most difficult really is honesty, I think.
Honestly,
Oh,
ano man
anong
this?
Ano, kuwan siya. It's really hard for you to find a story that would resonate to you and to an audience. Like, it's really hard, personally, I think, given that everything else is difficult, ang pinakalisod gid, how do you be honest and at the same time, how do you relay that honesty clearly? Unsa man pagka nang klaro gid kayo na ayan kasabot. Gubot siya pero kasabot ko na. Somebody looks at your film, you're like, okay, gets. I mean, look at everything everywhere all at once. Kana na salida, it's all over the place. But it's clear. It's clear na kanang, okay, it's about a mother and a daughter. Ano siya? Honesty siya.
So now that imo man gi-say about sa personal nga struggles, how about for the general film community here in Cebu, miss? Unsa man ang mga struggles nga inyong na-face? O kana ba nga struggle from before, ninggaan na ba siya karon or still the same?
I wouldn't say ni gaan or ni usab siya. Ni usab siya because it's been the same for many years. There walay shortage of talented people and equipment. A lot of Manila na productions come here and hire mga Cebuano na mga film workers and even rent out Cebuano owned film equipment. We all have it here. Plus, like, there's no walay shortage sa location na nindot. I mean, like, pila naman ang 30 minutes away mga beach, mga yan ng mga lugar. Pero it has changed because dili siya consistent. Daghay mga Cebuanos na mo leave sa Cebu and then they practice their craft in the US or in Manila or some other places. So that's why makasulti mo change gid siya. But what I'm seeing now is like there is now still an ongoing padayon gyapon sa mga younger generations. I don't know, like you guys, and then the cinema kids also in USC. Like I still talk to them also, and then like there's still that drive for storytelling and to build an industry. Although I still wouldn't call it an industry because it wala may siya dako na corporation ka like kana nya mahatag kwarta ba wala pa man na. Kung naman gani kwarta, it's gonna come from private investors or from Manila. Wala pa may kanang big studio na mo sultin na kamo himo mo ani or inyo kami wala pa man na. So kana siya. Muna ko nakita na change na it's kind of the same but like a different and more, I think mas paspas also, especially because like you guys are so used to TikTok.
Yeah.
Ako kay ni ko ng TikTok, I could feel lahi siya for me. Maybe I'm just old.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned sa imo answer earlier, miss, about leaving Cebu. Have you thought of that as well, like exploring your?
Yes.
Oh, you did.
Yes, of course.
But what made you stay here in Cebu?
I guess partially finances, but also partially because I felt like there's more that I can. Mas damo ko'y mabuhat here sa Cebu. Na kanang also in a way, a sense of duty to it, but mas dako ko'y I can contribute more if I stay.
Yeah.
And then what's the reason of uprooting myself again and then figuring out in another country or in another city na what sa ko mabuhat dito. And I've already seen it in my batchmates also. They uprooted themselves. They made a name for themselves outside. They they got there, they ano siya, pero like, what sense of identity do I have? Plus also, basically, gi-uproot naman ako akong kaugalingon. Because I'm not from Cebu, I'm from Butuan. So,
Okay.
nag-uproot na ko diha, niya, don't tell me I'm gonna uproot myself again. So, like, okay na ning dire. Kung ganahan ko mabisita other places, I'll probably work outside for a bit, but I won't stay there for too long. Di ko ganahan mag-base dito. So, and then there are a bunch of other reasons also, like, I just feel very passionate about the current industry that we have now, not just in film but also music, because like I have friends here and then they're also very passionate, like ano dapat siguro tabay naman sila, so it's very infectious na type of energy, and it's like I'm thankful that I'm surrounded by people like this. Yeah, we just gotta stick to our guns, you know, stick it up to Manila. Ano siya na type of vibe. Ano siya. Nara. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you, Miss. Continuation na ito katong about sa local filmmakers, Miss. How about sa local films? Unsa man ang mga kalisdanan sa pagkuyanap or pagpalambo aning mga local films? Kuyanap, spread.
Spread! Kuyanap.
Yes.
Sige. So, wait, what was the question again? Na-distracted ko sa word.
Unsa may mga kalisdanan sa pagpalambo or pag-spread aning mga local films para ma-reach out po sa like other audiences, other target audiences or generations?
Well, first and foremost, like, to make a film alone is already a big budget, and then it's a different aspect when you have to distribute it. So, kung saan man na mo pag-distribute, so far, ang nakita na pinaka-effective kay mo'y ginabuhat sa Binisaya, like literally mag-set up sila tarpaulin o projector o speakers, and then ipakita nila sa mga provinces. So ka na mga films from nagipanghimo sa mga Cebuano filmmakers, Manok ni San Pedro, the classic na arguably the first Cebuano full-length film, Manok ni San Pedro, and then like kana siya, like that's just how they distribute. And then, pero for everything else, like, what else is there? Netflix, YouTube, like, what other platforms do we have? This would be great because that entails marketing.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna, kasi how will we, unsama na pagkaibaw sa mga tao na ganamon tanaw na nag-exist na salida, and will they pay to watch it? Because people can watch movies for free now. So, at still, papagitubag na ba, pero those are the challenges. Like, how do you bring your Masama pa, pagkita niyo mo sa salida sa mga tao na ganama, kita sa salida, patay ko kabaw na kahit ka na salida. Ano siya na problems, like, even now, scary siya.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so speaking from your experience, Miss, unsa man imong mahatag nga like tambag sa mga aspiring filmmakers kay diri sa UPC community nagdaghan naman sa good karon ang nag-start na sila hilig ani. So unsa imong like matambag nila, not just for UPC but for the general advice.
Don't give up.
Tama.
No, really, that really is just that. Pero na actually no, kaya kanang you have to, I don't know, this is just coming from my personal experience also, but you have to figure out if you really do love this craft. Because like any craft, baka na, how much do you love it? And then that type of thing. I've had to discuss that with myself for pila naka years. I mean, like, initially when I decided to go back into dentistry, niya anak mo na mag-film, doktor na ko, bahala ano yung mga art, may kwarta, anak gito. Pero eventually I learned as I was already studying na, oh, this is probably why I love filmmaking. I love filmmaking so much that willing ko muskwila balik para ingig ka dentista na ako. Ang kanang kwarta na ako, padong sa ako
The
sa
film
lida.
tanan.
So, nga ako siya ka-love. Nga na siya ka-love niya. When I figured that out, I'm like, okay, yan na yun. Ano pa escape? Ano gid siya? So, you just have to, wala akong tambag, I guess, na kanang, you just have to keep on doing it, no matter how hurtful it gets.
Hurtful?
Yeah, hurtful. Some people would relate it to a relationship, but like I have different views about relationships in general, pero when it comes to craft, kung sa paghimo og something, lahi na siya because it doesn't necessarily hate or love you back. It's just there. So imo na ng choice kung like how much do you actually love making it, you know? Something.
Yes, Miss. So like kinahanglan jud nimong taas nga time hunahunahon jud.
Yes. You really have to think about it. And maybe you can leave it for a while. Diya sa ka boundaries ba? Diya sa ka. Yeah, diya sa. And you come back and then you realize, pwede pa din. You haven't changed, but I've changed. May nga na mga chumards.
But struggle ba sad sa imuha karon miss nga nag-study ka and then nagyapon ka na like karon naapa kay klase.
Listen siya, pero I'm learning how to juggle it. Like, kay balance lang ta. Like, hindi na kay I don't get the FOMO anymore. Maybe because I'm old. Hindi na kay FOMO. Kasi kung makailangan ko, sa akong so, kana siya na challenges there.
Speaking of pag-spila, Miss Kay, pagkakita na mo, pagkabalo na mo, part di ka sa ACT-UP before.
Act up, yeah.
Act-up di siya. Okay. Unsay mo kasinatian nimo atong nga time, katong part ka atong nga organization?
Well, I have so much to say about that. Pero, kuan siya. Well, dapat pagkit na reason why I didn't want to leave UP also, because like, a lot of my friends were in ACT UP, they were making films also, and then, mas maka-vibe po nila. But eventually, I had to move on. Pero nindot ang ACT UP at that time, kay for that period na active kayong ACT UP, sila, we would be the ones doing the videos para for each segment sa
Cookout.
So, bandahan, kantahan,
Sayawan.
Na yung mga videos niya, ACT UP produced na siya. And it was just like, kasi mabira na mo dito niya. Mo gamit with friends dito, naray sa UP, shoot. So, that's all in YouTube and mga yapon. And then, those were the things, those were nice because basically we were like nag-conceptualize ads. Kami lang. Kung kisari na yung camera mo, yung mga gamiton. And then we would actually, sometimes we would write scripts. And then, so daghan na kayo siya. So, hindi kayo siya na exercise, I guess. But we weren't graded, we weren't even paid. And eventually, ni try me join ang contest. Like later on, naman katong pagsinulog, nakapin ng sinulog. I think twice mi katog or 3 times mi nakapilog sinulog. And then, I think ay nakadaong with 4th and 3rd place for a few times, yeah.
Nice.
And eventually, sa Namalaya, na-shortlist sa Namalaya, ang
Really?
na produce na, yeah, technically, yeah. Top. But then, people got different priorities and bunch. So fun to siya na time because it was like, a bunch of like-minded people. And then UP Cebu na vibes. I'm still very thankful sa ACT UP now. Things have to move
Yes.
forward.
Yeah, so since you joined ACT UP, miss, murag pila imong edad adto nga time, miss?
2011. How old was I? 17, 18?
17. Oh, okay. So para nimo, miss, important ba mo start ka at a young age when you want to try doing films or anything related, ana?
Not necessarily, I guess, because I think in any craft, whatever age you are, as long as you stick to it for a time and you know that you like it and you love it and hindi ka ma-pressure sa ubang tao, you'll be fine. Because I eventually learned how to love dentistry also at 27, 26. And then filmmaking was already in my mind already, so I didn't have to leave filmmaking to learn to love dentistry. So, like, you don't have to start young. Start at any age.
Unsa may importance miss sa ka film society like para sa mga local filmmakers?
Like, can you repeat the question?
Unsay importance sa
Unsa siya ka-importante, miss?
ang mga ang usa ka film society for local filmmakers or upcoming local filmmakers?
Well, if you look at meron siya click vibes, barkada vibes. As long as you're not gatekeeping about each other, tapok mo diha kasi mo mga brains, say mo mga brains, literally kana ba, like lagyo kana sila ng mga tao, like asa ba namin nag-abot ba, pero man may kanang sense of humor, so of course kana nahulma na siya. And why that's important is that it ferments, it allows for these weird ideas to grow na kamuray makahunauna na that dili man na may tabok mo ikaw ra usa. So you have to welcome that, and at the same time don't be too closed off from other people joining in or other people leaving. Like, that's one thing pinakasakit actually when people actually leave. Pero it's also important to know na whatever you learn from that, you're gonna take that in and you're gonna possibly find other groups na maybe not the same, definitely not the same. Pero bisam na since naman ka na-learn na to, nanitabo na siya. Ito na mo'y documentation sa inyong kabuang. It's fine. Importante yun na siya, film societies and stuff. Like, ma-relate na nimo sa what happened in France with like Godard and asa to katong here KAHAYAG do cinema something something sa like so good sa French New Wave. There were a bunch of kids who said we don't like you French people who make Hollywood films. We're gonna make handheld jump cut stuff. Importante to ilang gibuhat because they were not just making films, they were also writing. And because of that movement, it sparked like the 1960s na type of cool kid na thing ba. So, importante na siya. Anak ko masulti.
Yeah, so hopefully Miss ma-revive or somehow mabalik ang film society here sa UP Cebu.
Yeah. Oh, wala na di ay. Namula na mo akta po
Ang
dire.
act of Miss, as far as I know, dili na jud siya active since pandemic happened.
Okay. Pero naagyapon ng mga tao.
Not sure, Miss, if nag-re-elect ba sila new officers, pero naara ang org itself, like recognized gyapon siya sa school, but no activities.
Kita ko.
Yes, Miss. So like, speaking of film society, Miss, unsa man like imong matambag sa katawhan, not just for the aspiring filmmakers or actresses, unsa imong matambag sa katawhan, like unsa nimo sila pag-convince somehow it's important to it's important
Convince how?
like how you encourage them na lang, Miss,
To keep pushing for the thing they want to push
yes,
for.
or
Yeah,
like kuan to unsa term naglibog ko
To join?
to support, yes,
Ah.
to support.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
That like even us as working individuals and working creatives, malisod kina to manghagit yung mga tao for them. But from my experience so far, it's very important to have like actual spaces and safe spaces gid ba na in a community. So kung na space and then naanay ka ng key group making these like key group and like people basta mo a space, an actual physical space and a community that will come up from that space. Mo cascade naman na siya, mo spread naman na siya eventually. So in terms of film, I'm not entirely sure, pero so far, as from what I know, wala pa may Cebu Cinematheque. Wala pa ka ng cinema that just caters to independently produced Cebuano films. Mo nang lisod diha ka nang asa man niya? May nakoy sa leader sa Cebuano. Asa man niya
Asa mo
pagkita
yung
ako
kita.
bitaw. Literally ka na ba like, uy, namin nahimon na sa leader, kanang kon Bisaya siya. Asa man niya pagkita? Ambot bitaw. Basin sa kuhan na ni, basin sa wayan na sa kuhan. Wala pa ka ng sure ba? Dili sila ka. I mean, if there was a Cinematheque or something like that, pila ka may pagsultin maybe it would be easier ba na I have a film and then I would like to premiere it in your theater. Sige, okay, go. Because so far the closest that I can think of that you can do that with is kanang sa from here sa Crossroads because they welcome mga events na free, so you can just book their space for free as a collaboration. And then free ang entrance, but if you're gonna ticket it kana sila share sa ticketing.
Okay.
So kato ilang space is just like na projector, na mga chairs, and you can like show your film there, people can talk about it, and you have like 5 hours of usage and then I'm not sure, more along the closest I can, but it's not a Cinematheque, so it's not just dili ra man salida ang ipakita dito, so that's the closest I can think of.
So karon min unsa man ang imong gikabisihan? Are you making something at the moment or bawal pa ba siya isulti?
No, dili. So far right now, besides school sa dentistry, besides the dentistry kay kuan, I finished a short film screenplay. I submitted it to two grant giving bodies. Hopefully I don't want to update so far. Hopefully that pushes to okay. I've been itching to make a new short film. Probably a few other maybe 2 music videos. We're not entirely sure yet. Another one would be kaning this and on the personal side kay sa akong Instagram na lang ko gina-post na parang cinematic vlog.
Okay.
Sa Instagram just as more of a personal mental health kind of grounding exercise na para kay sa if you know by now kay dentistry plus a working filmmaker na freelance. That's why I quit my part-time job because I didn't ako makaya. So nagkagupot gid siya, so I had to figure out a way to organize it, and I know the best way I knew how to do that was to turn it into film, and wala akong ginabuhat. So that's that.
Alright. So muna to siya ang among questions, Miss. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss.
Mhm.
So mao to ang mga insights ug inputs ni Miss Sam og daghan po tay
Daghan kay kung
na-learn yun, no?
nakatunan.
Basta hindi
Mm-mm.
ma-filmmaker di ko puhon may lawas. Puhon dahil mahimong kong filmmaker. Kung
Mm-mm.
dili ko prefer mahimong Mila, di ba?
Ako, artista ko, na-feel na ko. Pero mo to siya guys, ang ato ang second episode sa atong Kahayag podcast. Unta daghan mog nakatunan kay kami mismo nga nag-interview, daghan sad kayo mig nagkatunan. Ug mao kini ang sa likod, sa atubangan, sa kamera, kahayag.
Hi, ako si Samantha Solidum, usa ka filmmaker na nagasuporta sa sila ug mao kini ang akong kahayag.
Yeah!